Damn, Sanji's cool. Most of the time. But have you heard of Shokugeki no Sanji? Written and illustrated by Shokugeki no Soma's own Yuto Tsukada and Shun Saeki respectively, with help on the recipes from Japanese celebrity chef Yuki Murasaki, better known here in the West as, FoodWars. Wait a minute. Shokugeki is the food war. So Shokugeki no Soma would be Soma's food war, right? So wouldn't this be titled Sanji's Food War? It makes sense, but that means by English translation standards, this is also just called Food Wars, right? Either way, Jump likes to advertise this to One Piece readers for, obvious reasons. So when I was at a local bookstore, I found it on the shelf and I was kind of just like, oh hey, it's that one spinoff. Sick, I love Food Wars. Oh, yeah, that's Food Wars all right. And hey, girls cooking and cool shots, if that doesn't sound like Sanji, then I don't know what does. I mean, I would ask, how did this happen? But, it's a no-brainer. Surely enough, Sukada's recount was that he was eating with his editor one day, and his editor just went, "Hey Sukada, don't you think Shokugeki no Sanji would be interesting?" And Sukada replying as anyone else would, "What the fuck? Wait, no? I think you got something here. That sounds awesome." And long story short, he made the pitch, Oda replied, "I'm in." So, how is it? Did it live up to Oda's expectations? Fuck. Chapter 1 starts in the Baratier, Panda, where Sanji's lighting it up as a food critic seems to be setting up herself to get ratatouilleed. And then, more like, no. Okay, I'm better than that. So, more like fatatouille. Shit. So, she's doing her thing and critiquing. The chefs are wanting to throw hands. Sanji is cool and just wants her to finish her food. Patty and Karn want to fight her with food. Everyone's yelling. Sanji's just sitting there like, because she thinks Sanji's a waiter, she tells him to go work somewhere else, and then she proceeds to start monologuing, and in the process, this is Sanji's boy, his man, Zeph.
At first I was upset, but now I just find it sad. The owner is an older gentleman, yes? Is he perhaps senile? To consider a cheap, rundown excuse for a restaurant like this. His treasure.
Sanji cooked a lobster, everyone's getting hyped, and whew, wow, Shun don't discriminate. And if you weren't sold on the One Piece twist yet, we get this explanation of weird animals and how it would differ to what we know, the lobster being armed and delicious. So Sanji gets to flex a little bit, then he sets the record straight on what the Baratier even is, and damn Sanji, why are you looking at me like that? And as she finishes her plate, she imagines she getting that Alvita treatment. Sanji gets dressed and tells the boys to see her out. Then we finish the chapter off, we get to see some classic Sanji into a little story tie-in. So I'm a huge Food Wars fan. So when it was airing, I'd make myself like the fanciest thing I could, then watch it, which was like a great vibe, but it's harder to eat while, reading. I guess naturally based off of that, I've never actually read the manga. So assuming the moments in this are comparable to the actual manga, it's way different in manga form. Hear me out. Being committed to the page makes two things stand out compared to the anime. First and foremost, the cooking is almost more like recipe-like than I would have imagined. When watching someone cook in the anime, it's like, oh, cool. Oh, that's cool. Okay, yeah, then you do that. Okay, sure, that's really fun. And you get to watch like the actions and it makes it just feel like you're watching someone cook. But when it's all laid out in front of you on one page, you get a better idea of what needs to be done to like kind of cook it yourself. Like, granted, it's not an actual step-by-step process. And two, and a bit more significantly, it seems less corny. Compared to the anime, the lack of moving of it being a manga really makes it feel like it's just one instant in time, as opposed to a several second long reaction. I mean, it is a drawing. Drawings don't move. It feels like it's an involuntary reaction that you could have had and been like, oh shit, I hope no one saw that. Versus in the animation where it feels like, now we're on the Mary. Nami's looking cute, so you know Oda's happy. And Sanji's happy too, so he brings her some juice. Ooh, damn, step back, Nami. Zoro gets a full damn page turn reveal. So Sanji and Zoro fight about it. There's a castaway pickup. He's a cook trying for a dragon salmon. Super hard to fillet salmon. He wants it for a wedding present for his daughter. Sanji hears this and goes, wait, daughter? I'm in. Island Boy doubts Sanji, and Sanji begins expertly filleting it. Oh yeah, it explodes if you fuck it up. We get a lesson in carving knives and a little bit about filleting. Sanji keeps trying. And this is still shonen, so our boy ain't giving up. Unk must not know the genre or something, because he's trying to give up or Sanji. Zoro sets Tom Hanks straight. He then notices Sanji playing with knives. Zoro likes playing with knives. So he decides to whip his sword out and flop it on the table, like, literally his actual sword, Watawichi Monji, pretends like he isn't actually giving it to Sanji. But before I go, I need to leave one of my swords here. This here's a big boy sword. I won't listen to lame playboys who only know how to goof off. I only know one guy like that. And I know if I left the sword in the same room as him, he wouldn't even have the guts to pick it up. And wow, it's good. Daughter's happy, so is dad. Everyone turns into mermaids, so that's fun. And we get this entire page for Zoro's reaction, and it just brings joy. The boys have a, and then go right back to it. So, here's the thing. Chapter 1, could have happened, right? And I'm sure in canon, that type of thing has probably happened. We know Sanji has served food, probably to critics, right? But you see where I'm going with this. This chapter kind of more clearly isn't canon. I could see Zoro doing this, but if he did, it would be such a huge deal. Most people are in one of three boats when it comes to these two's relationship. Either, they think there's actual hatred, there's an unspoken respect, or there's the third opinion. I'm in the respect camp myself, and I swear I only had so many references because it's necessary. I didn't already have them. I swear. Oh, shit. They both have mostly always communicated harshly with the people around them, so it makes sense that they have different relationships than most of the other Straw Hats. And as much as I feel that this is a big enough deal that clearly it didn't actually happen in canon, God, I wish it did. It's sweet, it's badass, manly, it's honestly pretty in character for both of them. I just think it's a well-written chapter, but there's this feeling of, wow, this is cool. I wish it were real. So that feeling is technically breaking my suspension of disbelief, no matter how much I do adore this chapter. Chapter 3, we're at that party at the end of Alabasta. They are partying. Sanji is simply doing his Sanji thing and wants to make something for the girls. So he goes to find a kitchen and Luffy is doing that, thing he does. And the chefs are dropping like flies. They got reinforcements on the way. But first, they got this reinforcement. Sanji does what he does best, keeps doing it, makes everyone around him feel better, and reinforcements show up, so he makes his dessert for Vivi and dips. The party's going strong while he shows back up, and they watch the others. Sanji gives her the dessert, and...
So can we keep the lights on? And baby, keep the lights on. And can we keep the lights on?
Something interesting happened here. We didn't get any moment. Instead, we got this slow, tender moment of her remembering the moments that she had with the Straw Hats. And it's really nice how much is being shown in this panel. Something these two are clearly first rate at is capturing an instant in time, right? Even the actual motions feel like they're happening at such a blistering speed that they could be instant. Like I said about the fan service earlier, it's not just with but these little moments too, it feels like you caught a glimpse of something that you could miss just by blinking, and the real emotion invoked by that is something that I don't have to describe to you. You can see it in one image with or without the context. Chapter 4 takes place during Sanji's training with Ivankov. So we get what you'd expect. He runs and runs and they cut him off from the food sources. Camping menu, I guess. It's pretty fun to have Eva around. He whips up a few dishes to share with Eva. Eva is shook. I like this little moment where he's describing the hormones that flood your brain when you have food that's that good. Sanji just straight up starts to hallucinate Robin and Nami. Then it seems time passes because he starts getting the recipes as he gets used to the island. After getting his first recipe, he starts to cook for everyone. And, of course it's a hit. It's a food manga. Then we get some panels just essentially describing how much Sanji loves to cook. And this feels like a pretty short chapter in comparison. I don't know if it actually is. I think it's just the attention is split between several things leading to that feeling. There is a definite love here put into just how much Sanji loves cooking. And like the previous chapters, the emotion shown through the expression is beyond what most mangaka are even capable of. Chapter 5, we and Wana, Usopp looking good.
God, those dogs are barking!
Straw Hats are figuring out what kind of restaurant opened for Sanji. They visit a soba place. The soba place is giving low-quality nudes to the poor people because the poor people can't tell the difference. Sanji can tell though. Sanji challenges them to the group get together. Frankie does his thing. The group then plans the food out. Food war time. And oh no, they're losing. How will they be able to turn this around? Okay, they turn it around. It's like a lemon zest koi fish soba. And like FoodWars, they convince you that that would taste good. And Sanji ain't fucking around with this. Turns out the guy that Sanji ain't fucking around with is a fan, so they give him Sanji's new poster. Clothes explode, and Sanji wins. This chapter seemed very FoodWarsy, is what I was gonna say. Is that dyslexia? What the hell even is that? This chapter seemed very FoodWarsy, from him smelling the difference in ramen to the detailed explanation of the food that has me sold on wanting it. But in the end, it's not really like that's a bad thing. It was a fun chapter, so when I started like reading this entire book, this is more what I expected from it. We also got some fun moments from the other Straw Hats we haven't seen yet, and Sanji comes across as a total badass post-time skip through a, one-sided Shokugeki.
You can never come back here, understand? The sea is really big. You will meet nice people out there someday.
Ooh, okay, this is gonna be good. Sanji's a kid at the Bratier. Oh, it's her from the anime. He still isn't really good at cooking. He can't stay like that for long now, can he? Zeph gets a call in. Oh, hey, it's her again. Oh, she requests Sanji's dish. Oh, this story's about the first dish he ever makes. I guess that makes sense. He has an idea. Other chefs are getting a little pissy about it. There's more training. Man's figuring out how to cook. Told you.
What's this?
Engi chefs hide the meat day of. Uh-oh, now he has to butcher a ram. And its fat is made of metal. I mean, that makes sense. It is One Piece. But once again, he is a Straw Hat. Uh-oh, did Zeph catch wind of someone wasting food? While cooking, Sanji has a little bit of trauma about the running. No shit, shit's traumatic. But this is art. He made a collection of different mutton cuts, and Zeph decides it's good enough to serve. So, he does. And hot damn, they like it. They see how promising his future... They see how promising his future is. Zeph praises his son, and we see some of that male bonding I was talking about. Fast forward to Sanji, still pre-goatee, and he seems very irritable. For whatever reason.
Say, have you ever heard of the All Blue? Nuh-uh. You've got to be kidding me. That sea is a miracle.
I love this chapter. It felt like a perfect blend of the two styles. It makes me even more glad the previous chapter felt so FoodWarsy, because it made this one feel like certifiably One Piece, but at the same time something that only these two could have brought out of it. And so much canon was thrown in that I would believe every second of this being actually canon, with little hints here and there that have so much love put in it that it feels like Oda practically added it himself, where with the food-based training, overcoming the sabotage, and the little glimpses of emotion are golden Food Wars. There's so much love put into this chapter. And honestly, no, more like this whole book. This isn't something that could be made by someone trying to cash in on someone else's IP. There is care and time put into every single chapter, from the inclusion of Panda Man to the story tie-ins and the official aged up Sanji design. Like, that's Oda did that. When I first read the excerpt, Yuto Tsukada introduced himself very humbly, and I know being humble is like a big cultural thing in Japan, but the way I read this line was as though he truly didn't expect readers to know him, and that came across as weird, and it could have been a translation error or just the vibe I was getting being different with that. But then I realized, yeah, a lot of readers of One Piece don't read Food Wars, don't know him. So it would make sense that he would idolize One Piece so much, even stating that he thinks working on this helped him make Food Wars better. And you know who I think is even bigger fan of One Piece? Like, not even just looking at the time, the SBS, is the fact that even in the cover arts, he's just putting more into this world. The man loves One Piece more than any fan. So then why does this feel so much more refined, right? Well, for starters, this has more time than, this does, where they would work on this waiting for his editor to get back to him between chapters of Food Wars, but he was still given way more time to polish it, as it isn't reliant of being on schedule. And I adore One Piece. If you've watched my videos even a little bit, I say that. And if you made it this far in the video, I don't have to tell you why, but it's things like this that remind me of how special it really is. I don't know if we'll ever get another guest mangaka crossover that fits this well. I've yet to read the others. Years down the road, it would be cool if we could get something more in the vein of this amount of time spent on it from Oda himself. There's something about these short stories that can really highlight specific things about a character or a world. Even if in sheer quantity you can get more love towards the world out like that, there is something uniquely special about being able to see that love distilled into such short chapters. And if now you've gotten to the end of the video and I haven't sold you on this, you can always wait, because hopefully it's credible news that Tsukada did say Oda says they're planning on giving an anime adaptation at some point. Have a good night. Drive safe. Hey, thanks for watching. This manga is a massive pleasure. I'd suggest picking it up if you see it in the bookstore. I really left a lot out, way more than it may seem like. I left a lot of reactions out. I left several foods out, just trying to get to the footnotes of how the chapters made me feel and kind of what it made me realize about FoodWars. Weirdly enough, having never read it, right? Well, thanks for watching once again, and as always, drive safe.